Okay. Namaskar, Shubh Prabhat, North America, Australia, Canada. This is Vidya Bhushandar welcoming you all. Namaskar once again. So we have a host of young people around us, high schoolers, university graduates, university students, and I'm so glad that we are all congregated here. And it is 5:30 in the morning in Vancouver, where some of our young people have got up so early. Maya and her brother, it's like so early in the morning there. So let's start. So Sanjay ji, please unmute yourself and start the video as well.
Namaskar, Mark.
Namaskar. So the young panel, Sanjay ji, and everybody who is listening to me from Canada, namaskar once again. We KPs have come a long way in the last 580 years since Hindu Kashmir became a Muslim colony, and the saga of our continuous genocide continued till our last forced migration in the year 1990. We have progressed mundanely and doing so well in terms of financial gains, but faced with the loss of our ancestral home, discrimination, peer pressure, and a major lack of knowledge, young Kashmiri Hindus need the inspiration to keep their faith in Sanatana Dharma, Vedic philosophy, and so many works which basically emanated from Kashmir, rightly called the cradle of Indian civilization. As with all faiths, the future of Hinduism is in the future of youth. Some say that the future is very bright, but others disagree. Now, what do you all have to say? We'll find out during the course of this meeting. In India and globally, more affluent KPs, Kashmiri Pandits, or Kashmiri Hindus are more westernized than the Westerners themselves. Now our children have become lawyers, engineers, information technology professionals, and the majority of these kids do not go to the temples as regularly as they should be, or they have very little or no knowledge of Hinduism or even the essence of it. We may still be connected to our past through festivals and rituals like Herat, Gardabat, Goratrai, Khichmawas, Ramnavam, Zarmasatam, Pandun. But this aspect of our religion is more emotional, without much understanding in its deeper essence. Families who do puja every day, they do not know why, and they chant shlokas without knowing the actual meanings, the profoundness of those shlokas. Today, you go to any Hindu home and ask the youth who their heroes are, and they will name Bollywood or Hollywood stars. Today's youth do not know about our great Hindu saints, about our great Hindu warriors, or even avatars who were profound and spiritual giants. The parents know something about them, but they don't tell the children as they lack knowledge or do not want to face questions what might be difficult to answer. Consequently, these young people are not in awe of their religion. In today's scientific age, we cannot just tell the youth that we cannot answer your questions. Their questions must be answered, and they must be answered in a way that makes sense logically, spiritually, as well as scientifically. Youth, the process is difficult and the results are unknown. But then our youth are seekers. I call my generation as followers. We were like more of a herd mentality. Like whatever our parents told us, we believed it. Even if sometimes we didn't believe it, we never challenged their authority. But today's youth, they are asking questions. So I call them seekers. And I will agree, you all will agree to me, that seekers were the ones who became seers. Whether it was from Shankaracharya to Raja Ram Mohan Rai or Mahatma Gandhi, they seeked. They asked questions. Guru Nanak Dev asked questions. He challenged the dogmas of the local Brahminical class or the people who were at the helm. So today on this episode of the ongoing workshop on exploring Sanatana Dharma, I'm glad that we have full house of young, dynamic, eager-minded youth from high schools to university students who have many questions to ask. And I'm glad to have Shri Sanjay Rana ji online from Jammu. Sanjay ji is a Kashmiri Shaivism and Dharma propagator. He is a renowned scholar of Kashmiri Shaivism and a passionate cultural activist from Jammu. Sanjay ji, namaskar. This is Vidya Bhushandar welcoming you on behalf of KPs in Australia, KPs in USA, Australia, England, North America as a whole, and from India. From every nook and corner of the world where we are scattered like the beads of a beautiful necklace snapped by a demonic force time and again. So Sanjay ji, I'll pass on the mic to you now. You please address the youth, and then once you basically give them the backdrop of this workshop, we will then introduce the youth who will ask their questions, and you take it from here. Namaskar to Urzu.
Good morning to everybody here. In India, it's 6 p.m., rather 6:15. Agad samshayam bodhi samvatarnatarinim vande vidyarthapadam chitrantam garbharatim. I am extremely happy and thankful to Vidyaji, Shri Ash Ranaji, and all young people sitting over here participating in this Zoom meeting. Since the topic is quite vast, but my endeavor, my feeling and my thinking about this whole is that we will not be able, even if we try, we will not be able to cover all the issues in just one meet. It needs a series of discussions, global meets, Google Meets, Zoom Meets, Facebook Live. Then we may be able to catch something. Before we go into detail, Mr. Vidyaji, he had just sent me a few questions. I will try to cover all the questions. But prior to that, we need to know certain basic things. We need to know who we are. See, you must have heard your parents saying, we are great, we are Kashmiri Pandits, we are this, we are that, we are having a rich cultural heritage. But just having it, it's not enough. Unless and until we all know, you people know who we are, what are the things we should be proud of, what's our legacy. Until and unless we are having the complete knowledge of it, we will just, it's just a hollow slogan. Neither is this going to appeal us, nor can we influence anybody. See, there is no main Hindu mainstream as such. Sanatana is there. Sanatana is all right. Sanatana is a sea. Sanatana is a sea. It is just creation. This sea has taken its birth by the big rivers, small tributaries. Anekata mein ekata. It is unity in diversity. As you say, there is a saying in Vedas, Ekam Satya Vipara Buddha Vadanti. Reality is one, but different philosophers, different people approach it through different means. So we are having subcultures. Anekta means diverse cultures. You are having people celebrating different, observing different rituals, speaking different languages, worshipping different lords, worshipping different gods, having numerous temples, having different type of puja padhatis, systems of worship. But there are certain basic lines, there are certain basic thoughts, there are certain basic presumptions and assumptions. And there are a lot many rishis. They have contributed our ethos. Now let me directly come to Kashmiri Pandit. Kashmiri Pandit and its legacy, its contribution. T.S. N.S. Nagaraja, and there are a lot many scholars, but K.S. Nagaraja is one of the main scholars who has published his research in 1946, rather 44 or 46, I don't exactly remember. He has written a book, Kashmir's Contribution to Sanskrit Literature. If we omit contribution of Kashmiri Pandits to Sanskrit literature, there remains hardly 10%. 90% contribution is from Kashmir. And it's not that he has given proofs, he has given name of the works. We are having lot many scholars. Say, just a couple of years ago, we celebrated worldwide at global level the Sahasrabadi, the 1000th year, 1000th birthday of Mahamahesharacharya Abhinav Gupta. Worldwide, it's acknowledged and it's an admitted fact that Abhinav Gupta is a philosopher par excellence. He's a multi-faced personality. At one time, if you analyze him as a Trikachari, as a Shaivachari, he's a complete lost word. Tantra Loka, his work. His work on aesthetics, Sundari Shastra. His work on phonetics. His work on Natya Darshana. His work on dramatics. His work on grammar as a grammarian. So this world is yet to see a man having capabilities, complete knowledge, complete scholarship in theatrics, in philosophy, in aesthetics, in dramatics, in phonetics, in language, in natyam. He is the only authority on Natya Shastra because he is the first and last word on Bharat Muni's Natya Shastra. Abhinav Bharati. Abhinav Bharati is the only work which is yet to, people are not able to add anything more to that. Abhinav is Kashmiri. He is me, he is you. We should go through that book, K.S. Nagaraja. This is my past. This is where from I derive pride. It's not only Abhinava. It is Kalata, Mamata, Kayata, Vasugupta, Atrigupta, Khemendra. The concept of history. Kalhana was rather the first historian of the world. Though people say it's not a history book, but yes, it's a history book. Raj Tarangani is a history book. And you see the finance of it, where he left. Yona Raja started from that. Then Srivara, then Prajabhata, then Shruka. They continued that legacy of history writing. So, it is one aspect, our contribution to philosophy, our contribution to aesthetics. So, in nutshell, I want to tell you that Hinduism is a big canvas. Hinduism is a big canvas, and or rather, it's a big orchard. It's a beautiful orchard, and ours is also a small garden in it. Number one. Number two, we should understand certain things. We are having nitiks. The people, the rishis, those ancient rishis who have just guided us how to lead a perfect life. And their shastras are called as nitis. Say, Yagnivalak niti, Lavgaksh niti, Kanad niti, Graha Sutra and Kalpa Sutra. These are constitutions. As per these books, guiding books, we lead our life. We celebrate our festivals. We perform our rituals. From day first to, we start our year with the Navri, and the last day of our year is Navri Amavas. In these books, Lavgaksh Samhita, what Kashmiri people are supposed to do throughout the year, it's enshrined there. Likewise, what Hindus in Bengal are supposed to do throughout the year, that is their Munishara, Yagnivalka. In rest of the north, people follow somewhere Kannada, somewhere Parashara. So in different regions of this country, people follow their respective rishis. We are the followers of Rishi, who is known as Lavgaksh Mahamuni. And whatever they have decided, whatever, I am not referring to only Lavgaksha, Yagnivalka, Kannada, and all that, Kanjayana, Parashara, whatever that's a prop, they must have thought that proper for the people. Say, there is a question whether meat eating is allowed or not. Perhaps Vidyaji will correct me. I think this was the intent. Is Vidyaji there? See, in Kashmir, it's not today is Kashmir, where we are having all the ways, trads, routes, airway, Banihal tunnel. It was nothing like that. And it's not that present day atmosphere and environment which we are seeing, observing nowadays there. It was immense cool. For 7 months, it was roughly under heavy snow cover. So, under snow, a particular, if I should say 1 or 2% of the vegetation was available to the inhabitants of the valley. We are just, as on date, we see dry vegetables, though we hardly need. We see ala hut, wangan hut, tomato hut. I don't know whether you people have just seen that or not. And this was the scenario. Primarily, if I live First of all, I should live. Then and then alone, there is question of my philosophy, pursuing a philosophical life, pursuing a particular kind of a rishi. First of all, I should live. And my rishi, he must have observed that the inhabitants of this snow-cladded valley need protein, need nutritious diet. They cannot live, and it's a fact, unless and until our body gets a particular portion of protein, nutrients, the human life is not possible. Human life for performing any type of karma, any type of action, it depends upon my health, status of my health. So, keeping everything in view, there's another question. I will address that separately, whether it's papa or punya, but I am just addressing a sociological part of my Rishi Lavdaksh Mahamuni. So, it is very much visible. Use of meat is very much visible in our scriptures. The people who are spreading this canard, it's not, no, my dear. They are ignorant about it. In Swachhanda Tantra, it is very much mentioned how Kashmiri Pandits are supposed to please their Bhairava on the Herath Puja, Hararatri Puja. That's a separate issue. We will address it separately on another occasion. And in our Karmakand, it is not at one place, it is mentioned at a number of places, the Meena Mamasina. While performing the last rites, we use raw meat at the time of last rite. So it is need of, one should live, and how one gets a complete nutritious food to perform something. It's very much allowed in our Shastra, so far as Kashmir is concerned. And as on date, as I have seen few days before a research in India, Indian vegetables are not having that nutritional value unless and until we consume something different which is nutritious. We are going to be getting a weak physique. So this can be one of the reasons. Number one. Number two, whether meat eating is allowed in our Shastras or not. So far as, because I am not that well read, but I am just kept collecting pebbles over here and there. So far my eyes go, there is no prohibition on it. And it's not an Islamic effect on Kashmiri Pandits that we consume meat. I request Vidyaji and Ashi, we should keep a full-fledged session for it, wherein we will be discussing it. What is what? But primarily, whatever suits your physique, whatever suits to your taste, you should do it. This is not an impediment so far as your spiritual practice, spiritual life is concerned. Adya Atma, these are two different things. There is one shloka in Bhagavad Gita, Yad Yad Acharitra Shishta Tat Tat Yevo Itrajana Sayat Pramanam Kurti Loka Tad Anavartate. Say, in recent times, I am not just going beyond 100 years, but we are having a galaxy of saints, world-renowned saints. Then I will just translate that shloka into English. As per the shloka, Yad Yad Acharitra Shishta Tat Tat Evo Itrajana. Common people are not so intelligent or so capable that they will analyze nitty-gritties of sociology, of Rasayan Shastra, chemistry, physics. Then what do? They only pursue the great people of their community, the saints and sages of their community. Whatever type of lifestyle they have, sages and saints have adopted, they are simply pursuing that. Sayat pramanam kurte loka tad anavartate. People simply follow them. People simply follow the great people of that community. Say, there was a famous saint among us Kashmiri people, world renowned, Nanda Mut, Nanda Bab. As on date, I have seen him. Perhaps you must have somebody know. I think you are all young. Vidyaji is also younger to me. There is a worldwide, this time we are having worldwide centers, Bhagwan Gopinath. He was a meat eater. After Abhinav Gupta, who re-established Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, Trika Darshana in world, Mahamahesharacharya Swami Ram, the great grand guru of Swami Lakshmanju. Lakshmanju was disciple of Swami Mahtab Kakji, and Mahtab Kakji's preceptor was Swami Ramji, Mahamahesharacharya. You see what type of saint he was. In 1984, he established Trika Ashrama, Trika School in Fatehgadh. How much scholarly a man he was. Because of Islam, there was nothing. That we go to that aspect of it later on. He thought it that Trika is now, it's almost a vanished philosophy. And his disciples, they were all meat eaters. Had it been an impediment, then we would have never got these mystics. World is yet to see the powerful mystics of the caliber Kashmir has produced. Not only Hindu mystics, but Muslim mystics as well. Say the people who say that it's Islamic, it's never Islamic. I am just referring to particular, I am just giving references. I am not providing you with the research material, but there's enough research available, material available. So spirituality is something different, and your eating habits are something different. For spirituality, dogmas are not important. Yes, say we have categorized everything in three: Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. It's with me. Once I am in a blissful state, I am in Sattva. Once I am enjoying life, I am in Rajas. Once I am in anger, once I am doing nasty things, once I am abusing normal people, I am under the influence of Tamas. Such is the case with our vegetables. There are vegetables having tamasic prakriti, sattvic prakriti, and rajasic prakriti. And in Rasayan Shastras, in chemistry, it is well defined when and which vegetable one should consume. When and or in which vrata, in which fast one should take this or that. Say now we are having Navratras are ahead. Vidyaji,
yeah, there was a question.
Are we on the track?
Armara, we are on the track. I think we will basically move from, like, the question on the food, I think. So
let me address this Navratra issue.
Please, go ahead.
See, this is a machine. Human body is a machine. It needs service. And Navaratras, I am not going to philosophical aspect of it. Navaratras, you see, Navaratras are just falling after 6 months. Chaitra Navratra, exactly after 6 months, it is Ashwin Navratra. This body needs overhauling, this body needs servicing. And as per Shastras, we are supposed to have light diet, less oily diet, rather sattvic diet in these days, because change of season is taking place. See, in Chaitra, it's a complete change. We are just going from winter to spring. And in this, we are just autumn has started and we are now heading towards winter. So once this change of season is taking place, our rishis, they have given us guidance that you should take only sattvic food for these 9 days, and you should take light food, less oily food. But there are rishis who are not they are not agreeing to it. In your West Bengal, they are ordered to take tamasic food. So they enjoy, they take fish, they take meat, they take everywhere, and simultaneously they perform pujas. Had it been an impediment there, then Canada would have just told them to stop it. You should not consume this food. So, as I earlier said that it's Rishi, and our Rishi is Lavgaksh Mahamuni. He has taken consideration of the geography, history, sociology, everything. Then he has evolved a system for people which is known as Lavgakshi Graha Sutra. It's available in the market. And we are doing it as per that.
Sure.
Yes.
Can we move over to the next topics now?
Yes.
So what we will basically do is we'll ask, alphabetically, the youth to ask questions. So I'll start with Arvind Razdan. Arvind, are you there? Arvind? We move over to Anushka. Anushka, you can ask your question. Ayushman, unmute yourself.
Vidya, I'm just.
Can I ask my question?
Yeah, who's this?
Anushka.
Yeah, Anushka, go ahead, please.
Namaskar to everyone, all the respected persons. Namaskar, sir. I am Anushka. Currently, I am in 10th. I am 15 years old. And my question to you is, it's specifically related to something that it's not discussed in many people around us. I have heard many people saying that if you are not believing in God, you are not worshipping Him, then you would not find anything good in your future. Your future would be baseless. I have heard this, and I don't believe that much in God. I worship Him, but I don't believe that much in God. So my simple question is this: is that true or not? Thank you.
It's nothing like that. The people who just say that they don't believe in God, they are the worst believers of God. Why should you say that I don't believe in God? God is not separate from you. You should understand it. God is within you. This is Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. You should understand, first of all, before understanding it, before just going into it, you should shun your ego and go to, for a while, go to sattvic state of mind and see this body in the shape of Sanjay Rana. It's not just eyes, ears, hair, skin, limbs. Something beyond is working. It's a lamp. Say, let me put it like this. It's a lamp. It's not a illuminating lamp. Something happens somewhere, or my wife or myself, I switch it on, light automatically comes over it. You get a luminous lamp. Such is the case with me. This is a lamp. And there is a light which makes me to see, which makes me to eat, which makes me to digest, which makes me to hear, which makes me to smell, which makes me to talk. And a time comes, this switches off. This, what you see in the form of a human body, it's there, but something is not there. What's not there? What name are you going to give that life force? Do you acknowledge that there was a life force in it? And simultaneously, this life force is working in all the living creatures and non-living creatures. Godhood doesn't mean that you worship a picture or a statue or a murti, go for reciting big mantras. It's not. It is just acknowledging that there is some supernatural power which is governing this whole world. It's not you accept it or not. It is a fact. Tarak means logic. It is having its limitations. We can understand something with our tarak, with our logic. Logic, even intellect, is having limitations. Say the people who were just concluding that Earth is not round, but Earth is stationary. Later on, they came to this conclusion: no, it's revolving. Sun is not revolving; it is stationary. Say, what is the force that I am just dropping this? Why not? Why doesn't it go upwards? Why downwards? Gravitational pull. Guruta Akarshan. Why we lose weight after just covering 250 kilometers of space? So this is spirituality, which is beyond this Atman, Adhyatmik, spiritual. There is one shloka in the first primary book of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, that's called as Parapraveshka. Those of you who want to understand Trika Darshana, Kashmir Shaiva Darshan, they should go and read that book. That's the basic and primer of Kashmir Shaiva Darshan. There is the first shloka, Vishwatmikam tadutirnam radiyam parameshato paradi shakti rupina sufrantim samyadam nama. I am just bowing before that energy which is Vishwatmak, the energy which I can understand with my intellect. But there is another. There are certain aspects of that energy which are beyond my comprehension, which are beyond my intellect. I am bowing to them as well. How much we know about the stars and galaxies? Don't we have limitations of intellect? Have you or me or somebody or Vidyaji or anybody kept those stars, planets there?
So Sanjay ji, Anushka's specific question was basically that people who are not, or they will not be successful in life.
Yes, I will just conclude that. There is nothing, no punishment, nothing, whether you believe it, but non-believing is nothing. You believe it. Whether you believe it or not, it makes hardly any difference. Otherwise, there is no punishment for it. But why shouldn't one believe? If there is a light, why should we say that it is dark? It is dark. It's my prerogative whether I worship that or not, whether I accept that or not. But the reality is reality. These are dogmas. Who is telling you that you will get this punishment? No, there is nothing. Yoga karma sukoshalam. If you do your work, if you do your work with good attention, with utmost sincerity, that's yoga. That's worshipping Lord. That if you are a computer engineer, do it nicely, do it honestly, do it dedicatedly. That's your worship to Lord. So there is nothing as such. But why shouldn't? Why shouldn't you acknowledge the reality? Reality is there. There is some supernatural force which is known as God. You may give it some another name.
We'll next move to Arvind Razdan.
Any subsequent question for it? Anushka, is it clear to you?
Anushka, can you unmute yourself? Anushka, do you hear us?
Yes, yes, it's clear.
Wonderful. So I believe you have received the answer for your question. I mean, it's not easy to basically, comprehend it, so quickly, but I believe you got the essence of it. So we move next over to Arvind Razdan. Arvind, can you unmute yourself? Aji, can you unmute Arvind?
Yes, Vidya, I have done it.
Okay. Arvind, can you put your question, please?
Namaskar, Mara sir.
Namaskar.
My name is, sorry, I was getting a call. Yeah, my name is Arvind Razda. I'm in Canada for some years now. I do try to get some insight and, and try to go into what is Kashmiri Shaivism, but the constraints that we face as a young what constraints and what issues we face. So mainly, Mara, I have 3 questions. One is during these tough times. When I say tough times, it is by tough times I mean the influence of other ideologies, the influence of other religions, not only the influence of Islam or Christianity or any other religion, but the influence of other Hindu ideologies also, like non-eating meat, just a very simple thing it is, or idol worshipping. All those ideologies, they are too much in the light that we have forgotten our Kashmiri Shaivism, even we as Kashmiri Pandits. So in that sense, and also with other distractions, the work that we have to do, our daily course. So in that way, what can we do to keep ourselves into Kashmiri Shaivism? What can we read? Because even though if we try to read, we don't understand it. I tried many failed attempts to go through some of the books. One of us, Abhinav Gupta's the Triadic Heart of Shiva. In that, I miserably failed. I was not able to understand it. Then whether it is a book of Raj Tarangani, I tried to read it. I was not able to understand it. So with the busy schedule, I don't get that much time to read, and other priorities also. But when I make an attempt, when it is so hard for me to read, I sometimes give up, sir. So one question is, what can we do as younger generation that who don't know Sanskrit, what we can read? That is one of my questions, sir. So the other one that I have, sir, so in this, in Shaivism, like one of the core goals is to have a guru for you. A guru who can enlighten you and guru who can teach you, who can give you directions. But since I'm in Canada, I don't know any scholar, or I don't know anyone to whom I can reach out and tell him that during my worldly things that I do, be there and give me your direction. And lastly, the third question is, sir,
limit yourself to 2 questions. That's enough. Sanjay ji.
Okay, sir.
May I again know your name? Perhaps it's Arun.
Arvind Razdan.
Arvind
Arvind
Razdan.
Razdan from Toronto.
Arvind, it's not that Shaivism is only about eating meat or eating vegetables. So forget about it. Eating meat or eating vegetables or eating anything else, that's your personal prerogative. But I was just telling you people that it's no impediment so far as spiritual upliftment and understanding the scriptures is concerned. Number 2, you should not worry about the people. The moment you worry about the people, you leave yourself. You should worry about yourself. Shaivism it's a school, it's a thought, it's a science. You have to go through it. You have to go through its scriptures. You have to go through its philosophical part. There's a proper system in it. Say the books to which you referred, these are say you have to enter at nursery level. You have directly joined MA classes, master's classes. So this is not the way. This is not the way. Actually, yes, it's not your fault. It is our fault. The system which is well defined in Shaiv, in Trika, that's first of all you should read. There's a proper curriculum, and it has not been evolved by me. It has been evolved by our great saints. There was a great pupil, disciple of great Abhinav Gupta, Khamindra, who just understood at that time that it's not difficult to enter into Trikamarga. So he evolved a primer for it. That's known as Para Praveshika. How to enter into Para. Para means the ultimate state of Shaiva, Trika Darshana. So whosoever wants to go through this, he should first of all read this book. It's a simple book. I should say it's a booklet. You should go through that. Number one. Number two, basic education. Trika is divided into two parts. One is sadhana part, sadhaka, trika sadhana, and another is theological part, shastras, trika shastra. There is ample literature available in this world about systematic Trika theology, Trika system. It is, yes, our responsibility, particularly responsibility of Trika ashramas, Swami Ram Shaiva ashram, Swami Ishwar Sarup ashram, Swami Ishwar Sarup, I mean Swami Lakshman Jo ashram. And there are scholars all over the world working over it. In few years, you will see a change. There will be a proper curriculum for it. We should evolve a university type of system wherein we will just step by step infuse or inculcate or teach our students how to enter into this marga. And there is a well defined curriculum for it. Say Para Praveshka, then after that, and ultimate is Tantruka. The book to which you have referred, that's a very difficult book. That's not going to give you any direction. That's for those scholars, those who are there, the people who have already understanding of the basic canons of Shaiva Darshana. So, my dear, in near future, we'll be providing you all the material. I will try my level best at my individual level. Number two, the sadhana aspect. First of all, we should understand theoretical part of Shaiva. And it is so beautiful. It is so enlightening that if we are just entering into it, we will automatically get our sadhana guru. And there is no dearth of it. There are sadhakas who will show you the way for sadhana. But prior to that, you need to go to its philosophical part. And there are, my dear, you should all, those who of you want to enter into this para, they should go for a simple book of Para Praveshika. And there are numerous English translations, Hindi translations available in India. You should get a book of it, and you should go through it.
Sanjay, before anyone else asks, Vijay, I just wanted to ask you one question. This is Ash from Australia. Sanjay, aap abhi, you were talking about having non-vegetarian as a diet. Now, just wanted, and this might be a question from most of the youngsters also. Now, in terms of vegetarianism or non-vegetarianism, as an example, Lakshmanji Maharaj, I think he mentioned that you should be a non-veg to go from one level to another if you want to go into this field. Now, who decides that, and how do we decide should we be a veg or non-veg? What is the thought?
Is it good that if I answer this question into Kashmiri?
Please.
With all due respect to Swami Lakshmanju and the people who believe this statement of theirs, but please answer my question. His great guru, yemis khatir temis chathui respect the yazat was, yemis sos vana yasa chu Shiv avatar. It's why me chu koshir koit. Ta matlab gawa sos na tel tat avastha maz amut ki. Sosa yapari. Ke sos shun khawa. Agar ye falsafa shun mano pos tel sosa yami avastha yapari. Sosa tel apor tormut ki. You got it?
I got it.
Ye akis nach sun panning impressions asa acha ba agar ye mano tel ye swachanda tantras mos dikhu tel chat apus sucha pos kin aim ye won tishu pos. It is simply one's own understanding about things. You see, my father was a voracious meat eater. He was also a Shaivi. One day, he was just sent by mother for fetching some meat, and he came with some vegetable. So my mother just asked him, "Hey, why you brought these vegetables?" He said, "No, now onwards I will not take meat." My mother just laughed. She never believed. She said that you are a voracious meat eater. You can't live without meat. How come? So no. I have decided I will not. Why? What's the reason? I just inquired from my father. What's the reason? No, I don't like it. I said, then we all will shun it. No, I don't like it. He was simply just pursuing me. Whenever you in life, you feel that it's not good, you leave it. Or it's not suiting your physique, it's not suiting your food habits, leave it. I just posed him a question, is it an impediment in your spiritual path? He said no. So eating meat or eating vegetable, it's one's own prerogative. We are not here to propagate this, that one should eat. But there is one question, there is one statement. It is never an impediment so far you are leading a spiritual life, spiritual path. So those who say this, it is a dogmatic approach. There's nothing. Those who say like this, it is Islamic practice, it's never an Islamic practice. Say, Lala, we have just fixed a date for Lala. It is 14, 20, 14, 30. See? Once she said, were you more than Hund Yakat, Lali Neela, what silence? Hund means a big sheep, but Kat means a small sheep. So it's not that you all were practiced within a decade or 2 decades. Once it becomes a household practice, it takes at least a century or 2 centuries or 3 centuries. So before the Advent, Islam came to Kashmir in 1339 by proxy. And I request Vidyaji that entry of Islam, the tragic and I should say tricky entry of Islam, we should devote a full session to it.
Sure.
Our young people should know.
Shahmir dynasty.
I will just talk for 15 minutes or that, or rather 5 minutes over that subject. How we are great. Say, once she is telling that, she speaks that if my in-laws kill a big sheep or a small sheep, I will get that small piece. I will not get more than that. So it had been a practice there. People were taking it.
Okay.
People were using.
Let's move to the next topic because we are basically focusing more on the meat eating side. So next is Ayushman. Aji, can you unmute Ayushman?
Ayushman, over to you.
Ayushman,
you have to unmute yourself.
Okay.
You are logged in 2 devices. That's why you're.
Okay. So first of all, namaskar to everyone. My name is Ayushman Kango. I'm 12 years old, and my only question is, if our rishis say that during the change of a season when during Navratri, suppose we're gonna not eat meat for 9 days. Why is it that they don't say that don't eat don't eat vegetables for 9 days? Why do they say only meat? Is there something wrong with that or what?
Got it. Perhaps you have taken me wrong. Our rishis never say that you don't eat meat or you don't eat this and that. They are simply guiding us. What should we eat? Why shouldn't we eat? What shouldn't we eat? They have never just guided us like that. They have not issued their commandments. They have not issued their directions. They simply advise us, our rishis, that while it is a seasonal change, while you are transiting from one season to another, you should go for a fast. Number two, you should take less oily foods. You should consume sattvic bhojan. Sattvic means you should not, even our rishis, they say us, they guide us that we should not take ahara. Ahara means rice. Ahara means bread. Ahara means wheat. We should consume light food. They have never told us that you should take meat or you should not take meat. They have simply advised us, go for a light meals, go for less oily meals, go for fruits, more water, and they have not guided us that you should not take meat, you should not do this. No, they have simply guided us that you should take sattvic food. And now, since we have categorized this, meat is definitely a rajasic or a tamasic food. So we are avoiding it. It's full of oils, it is full of fat, so we are avoiding it. We have chosen this system ourselves. Somebody takes only fruits, somebody takes one-time meals, it's our creation.
Personal choice. Perfect. So next is Aradhana Rana. Aradhana, can you unmute Aradhana?
Aradhana, over to you. You have to unmute yourself. Aradhana, can you unmute Aradhana?
Okay, we'll move to Ashwin Bhatt. Ashwini.
Namaskar, Masarni. And my question is what is the best way to learn our Jantri, like Nishpath, so that I think we all youngsters should know. Even I have crossed 30, but still I have no clue about that. So I would love to learn Jantri. We all are living separate from our families and we are living in different countries. So I think we should learn. So please throw some light on that.
Learning Jantri is an important. It's important feature. It's very much important for we people that we should learn Jantri, the Jantri reading. For that, you need a complete session, wherein you will have Jantris in your hands, almanacs in your hands, and I will try my level best to just teach you, or rather, it is a big word teaching you people. You are all learned people. I will just show you how to read it. So I will request Vidyaji that it's a very not for our youngsters, but let us widen our this group and let's hold a class for Jantri reading. That's good. Jantri reading is not that difficult. Just within 2 hours, I will just try my level best to make you understand certain basic things about Jantri. It is question of 9 planets, 12 signs, 27 constellations, and day beginning and day end. So it will take me just one and a half hour to show you how to read Jantri. But the prerequisite for that is that you should have almanac in your own hands. Or before that session, I will request Mr. Ash Rana and Vidyaji that he should provide you with a digital copy of Jantri, so that of say any month, November, October, December, so that almanac is in hard copy of that almanac is in front of you, and it is just learning. I cannot just theoretically I cannot make certain things clear.
We'll have another session for it. I just want to add for everybody's knowledge here that Saptrishi Samvat, basically the Jantri which we follow or the almanac we follow, it is one of the oldest Jantris in the world, oldest almanacs in the world, running 5,096 years. And the beauty is that when we are just 11 families left in Kashmir, our forefathers maintained it even during that exile period. Okay, so the next person, Aradhana, are you there?
Is he satisfied or not?
I believe so. I mean, we have to have another session for that. We have to have another session.
Okay.
Aradhana, are you there?
There's no response.
Okay. So we move over to Kanika Razdan. Can you unmute Kanika?
Kanika, what's you? Kanika, please unmute.
Kanika, are you there? Namaskar.
Hi, namaskar. I just wanted to know what
Kanika,
are your
introduce yourself. Introduce yourself.
Hi, yes, my name is Kanika Razdan. I am here living in Toronto. I just had a question. What are your thoughts on how to deal with people passing away, death in general, or how is that taken in our religion? How is that, like, death? I mean, what I'm trying to say is some close person that passes away, how do you deal with sorrow?
Vidyaji, is this question regarding Kriyakaram or?
Basically, how to handle somebody's death, how to combat the sorrow. Show basically handle how to avoid the shock of somebody's death.
By simply reading second adhyay of Bhagavad Gita. Go and read the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. You will find answers for everything.
Wonderful.
In second chapter, Lord says that it's not a man who dies, it is body. Soul is always there. So you will find answers to your question. Please, we are having a brief session here. I will just try to cater that in future, but believe me, I am frankly telling you, go and read second chapter of Srimad Bhagavad Gita. It's only 72 shlokas. You will find answers how to overcome that, how to get one out of that mourning or shoka.
Thank you, Mara. Maya Pishan is next. Maya is from Vancouver. It's so early in the morning there, and I really appreciate Maya, you guys getting up so early. So Maya, next to you.
Namaskar everyone, I'm Maya. I live in Vancouver. And my question is, you were talking a lot about the changing of seasons in Kashmiri culture, and I just wanted to know what the importance was, since, we have to fast for 9 days, and then there was the whole kind of debate about whether you should be eating meat or should not be eating meat. So I just want to know what the importance behind the changing of seasons is.
It's more of a meaty session these days. Sanjay ji, over to you.
I am not good at English, so I could not follow our question. So
basically, it's again about change of seasons. What's the importance of season changes in our lives, and it's again about the food practices during the season changes. I think you covered it already, but if you can just add something more.
This, my dear Maya, I am happy that you have posed this question. In fact, every change, seasonal or otherwise, every atmospherical, I should say it's atmospheric, it's not, it's astronomical, I should say. Every astronomical change is having a different impact on this universe. See, you must have heard on Purnimashi, full moon day, you see how tides behave in sea. Is it so? Or likewise, every atmospheric change, every astronomical change is having a due impact on this body. Our body is made of 5 elements. Prithvi, Jal, Tej, Vayu and Akash. It's space, water, earth, fire, air. Isn't it so? So whatever is astronomically happening, that's having a due impact on us. Likewise, say in Kashmir, you are product of, I think, Canada or America.
Canada.
Kashmir, once it was winter, we were just, our parents were advising us, don't go for cold things because we will immediately get cold, bad cold, zukam. Do you get me?
Yeah.
So likewise in summer, we can't take hot water. It will never be palatable. Likewise, once there is a change of season, it is having a definite impact on human body, human mind. It's like during night, you automatically feel that I want to sleep. So these cosmic changes are having a due impact on human body. This has been rightly observed by our rishis, and then they have just guided us what to do and when to do. Once I will be having session on rituals of Kashmiri Pandits, you will see there is a ritual where we are supposed to have bath with, that's called as, I don't know its English name exactly, we are supposed to Bhuharat, that is a specific Sankranti, there is a specific day during there, and our rishis, they have given us instruction, you should wash, you should have a bath with that water, that we are guided to use that herb. They must have reached to this conclusion by just using that herbal water on the specific day, it is going them good health. And I would always ask this question to my grandmother, why should I wash, why should I have a bath with this herbal water? She told me, this will keep your digestion intact, and it was happening so. So my dear, change of seasons is having a definite impact on a human body, and we are supposed to do as per the directions laid in our Shastras by our great sages. Okay?
Next is Maya's brother, Monish. Monish, are you there?
Yeah.
Go ahead with your question.
Yes. Oh, I was listening to Maya's question. Really, I don't have any questions right now.
Okay, so next time you prepare a better question. I'm very happy. Thank you so much for coming, getting up so early, and I look forward to see you more in the session. So the next one is, do you have any question, Monish? Okay, we'll move to the next person. So next is, did you miss anybody here? Okay, Priya. Priya, can you unmute yourself? As you please, unmute Priya.
Yeah, Priya, you can unmute yourself.
Priya, are you there?
We can go to Raj and then come back to Priya.
Yeah, we have Roshni there. Roshni Call.
Raj, I can't
Call
see.
is from US, Chicago.
I can't see. Vidyaji, I can't see Roshni in there.
Yeah, that's Raj Call. That's Raj Call.
Okay.
Unmute them.
Namaskar, this is Raj. First of all, thank you for the session. Really informative and appreciate your time and dedication. So I don't have a question. I just a statement. You know, and there was a lot of question about the food eating habits. I just want to, because there were a lot of youngsters asking this question, and my point is that it's your personal choice of eating food. Once one is on a spiritual path, everything just falls off. Whatever tamasic food can be tamasic, even eating sweets, too many sweets is tamasic as well. And of course, meat is tamasic. So it's your personal choice. Don't get too hung up on food. Just focus on the spiritual practices. I think that would be my advice to everyone. So thank you, Sanjay, for your session.
Next on the line is Ansh Kardar. Ansh, I missed you on my apologies for that. Can you unmute Sunil Kardar as you? Ansh and Kriti are siblings,
Right.
so they will basically ask questions.
Ansh, over to you.
Namaskar, and thank you for the session. My name is Ansh Karar, and I'm from Ontario in Canada. So my question is karma just like, as like most people say, or like you could say Western people say, that every action has a reaction, or is there more to it in like Hinduism or spiritually? Is there more to karma? Like, what does it truly mean?
So Sajid, basically, Ansh is asking karma ki paribhasha, basically. What is karma?
Whatever karma we do, rather we are never without karma. Nahi kasyat shanam api jato tishtati akarmakat karyati hi avasha karma sarvan prakriti jirni. You are always in action. So once you feel that you are at rest, you are never at rest. You are at relative rest. It's like that. If I sleep, just after getting a sound sleep of 1 hour, once I get up, I just say to myself or say to my whosoever is there, I had a very good sleep. And then I would say that I had a good dream. If I was at all at rest, then after getting out of it, who told me, who narrated me this story that I had a good sleep and then I had a good dream? While I was at rest, somebody was watching me, somebody was just inside, somebody sitting inside, just it was recording my actions, and immediately I got up. That machine just narrated me what I did during that spell of rest. So if this body was at rest, but something, a part of his words, it was already active, recording it. And it seems to me that I am at rest, but my heart is working. And that too continuously. Once it stops, it's gone. So Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita says that there is no E is equal to MC square. There is no term rest. It's only relative rest. We are always in action. And it's a fact. Every action has its equal and opposite reaction. That is the law of spirituality. One can experience it once you are on the path of spirituality. Once you start meditation, you will see an inner change. Or you do something good to people, you will get a blissful state of mind. आप जब दान करते हैं, आपको एक अलग ही अनुभव होता है. You are having this different experience. Once you help somebody, you enjoy that blissfulness in that. So that's equal and opposite reaction for that action. Once you abuse or fight with somebody, you are more hurt, more dukhi than that man whom you have just slapped or abused. So, my dear, every action is having an equal and opposite reaction. My heart is beating, that its reaction is that I am alive. Got it?
Perfect. Kriti Kardar, Ansh's sister.
Be satisfied?
Ansh? Aren't you muted?
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. Kriti is there. Kriti, your turn now.
So namaste, my name is Kriti. I'm also from Ontario. And I was just gonna ask, like, what's the difference between Atma and Prana?
Wonderful question.
Atma and Prana. Atma is a major head and Pranas are subclasses. So Prana and Atma, basically, Prana and Atma are not two different entities. Prana and Atma are, it is the same entity. A father having 5 sons. Prana and Atma are not two. Prana is life force and Atma is also a life force. There's nothing in it. Don't go by scriptures. These are confusing things. Term Atma and Prana, it's nothing. Say we have bifurcated. We have bifurcated pranas into 5. But that's only that life force which is known as Atman. Prana, Vyana, Apana, Samana, Udana, Vyana. These are all 5 classes of prana. But prana itself derives its strength from Atman. So Atman, prana without Atman and Atman without prana is nothing. पंगु है प्राणा ही प्राण आत्मा की है आत्मा के ही 5 गुण प्राण है ये प्राण के ही 5 गुण आत्मा है it's integral. Don't get confused by different versions. It is the absolute meaning of it.
Kritik, I hope you got the answer. Thank you. Isha, call just logged in. So Isha, Aji, can you unmute Isha call?
Yeah, Isha.
Isha just logged in.
Isha, go ahead.
Oh.
Yes, Isha, go ahead.
Isha, you have to unmute again. You muted yourself. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, perfect.
Introduce yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
All right, perfect. Namaste. So I have a bunch of questions. So first one is, does Hinduism allow consumption of meat? If yes, then how does it affect spirituality, and what are its effects in context of meditation?
I think for that, she should refer to the recording.
So Isha, we have already covered that.
We had a very long session on meat eating. So ask your second question.
Okay. The second one is the depiction of Shiva being portrayed as a marijuana smoker a myth? If not, then why is he depicted so? Did Shiva used to eat meat?
Let me be very frank about it, that this is the dualistic school of Shaivism. I never believe in that. Shiva is within me. These are wrong depictions. There is nothing like that. Shiva, I am one with Shiva. It is just, Shiva is having 5 unlimited powers. Shiva सर्वज्ञ है. Shiva सर्वकर्ता है. Shiva सर्वकर्तत्व, सर्वज्ञत्व, पूर्णत्व, नित्यत्व. These are 5 unlimited qualities of Shiva. And Jiva is having the same qualities. 5 limited qualities. That is Kala, Vidya, Ra, Kar and Niti. This is enshrined. This is as per the Trika school, as per the Shaivik school, monistic Shaivik school. So if you go through the basic scriptures of monistic Shaivik, monistic Trika Darshana, you will find the answer. Shiva is not outside. It is just simply, I have to integrate my I conscious with that universal consciousness. It's a big thing. It's a philosophical answer. There are here and there some references, but this is not the crux of it. Charsi, Bangi, Shiv Basmi, this is not. These are all symbolic. Perhaps they have not been able to interpret it rightly. There's one shloka in Panchastavi. Panchastavi is the indigenous scripture on on goddess, mother goddess. Charamam baram chi shiv basma valepanam cha vikyatanam cha natnam cha paret bhumu vetal asamat paragrahtat shambhu shobam vivarti girje tausahajili. In this shloka, there is the writer is just calling Shiva that your abode is Shumshana, the cremation ground. Instead of powder, you are just rubbing Shiv Basma over your body. Your clothing is only a magacharma, a deer's skin. You are not earning, you are just begging with that bowl, kashpol. And you are entertaining yourself with just dancing with the Vaitala. The people, the souls who are wandering in cremation grounds. The moment my father Himalaya gave me to you, Shobam Vivarti Girje Tausahachariya. From that day onwards, you are Shiva. It's a symbolic. It means that once male and female gets union, then they start their world, they start their family. When matter and energy combines together, then we see Pratyaksh Rupa. Say you are having a log of wood in front of you and I say there is fire in it. You never believe it. Once I lit it, then you find fire in it. Fire was very much in it. That is element of Shiva. Element of Shiva is intrinsic in matter. Element of energy is intrinsic in matter. So we say that these are symbolic representations of that Shiva matter, which is looking as dead, as Shiv Basmi, as Charsi, going to do nothing with this universe. The moment element of energy is integrated with matter, the creation of universe is visible. So people have just, they are not going to its philosophical part, they are interpreting as Shiva, as Charasi, as Bangi, as that we are not, we should never address to that part of it. It's nothing, it's nonsense.
Perfect. I will recommend this book to everybody if they want to basically know more about Panchastavi. What Sanjay recommended is by Sri Gopi Kishan. This is a great book, and
It's a great book, and you see its translation.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very profound.
I also recommend this book.
So the next is Seema Pandita. Seema, Ashik, can you unmute Seema?
Anything more from her?
Yeah, Isha, do you have another question, Isha? Isha is muted yourself. Ashik, can you unmute
Isha, yeah.
Okay, so can I go ahead with my next
one last question?
Okay, one last question. Okay, so I'm not sure if it's relevant or not, but there's this question which I've been had in my mind since a very long time. Who was Zoroaster, and how is Zoroastrianism related to Hinduism?
To be frank, and let me confess, I have heard nothing about Zoroastrianism, and
okay.
I am not in at all.
Isha, I will reply you that. I mean, what a little bit I know from the research of great Indologist Subhash Kar, Dr. Subhash Kar. You'll be surprised to know that Zarathustra was a Kashmiri Pandit from Baramulla. 6,000 years back, he traveled all the way to Iran and propagated a new religion called Zoroastrianism. That's surprising. I'll send you a lot of information about it.
Right. See,
Something
like,
very interesting to know about it. So the next one is Seema. Seema, unmute yourself.
Isha. Oh, sorry, Seema. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, good morning, sir. And thank you so much for sharing your in-depth knowledge with us. My question is, like, what are the main books that we use in Saiva religion?
There are many books. Basically, there are this, perhaps it is Seema Pandita?
Amma.
Yes.
Yes, yes. Trika, if we classify Trika, it's having three schools: Agama, Sapanda, and Pratibhikya. And all the three schools are complete in itself. So we are having number of scriptures pertaining to all the schools. But I refer those sadhakas or those students who want to just go into it, they should first of all read Parapraveshka by Acharya Khamendra.
Okay.
If you go through it, then you can take up any scripture, say Pratibhigya Hadayam, Sapanda Niranay, or anything. But don't go for Tantra Loka initially. Once you read 2, 3, 4 scriptures, then go to read Tantra Sara. It will give you a good guidance.
Okay.
Tantra Sara by Abhinav Gupta. First of all, please go through Parapraveshka by Acharya Khamendra. Great disciple of Abhinav Gupta.
Okay.
Anything more?
No, thank you so
much. You are allowed one more question.
Like in that case, I would like to ask about the holy ash, like why we wear on our body and why it is necessary, or is it necessary, or is it any compulsory to wear the ash? Like I have seen like the Naga sadhus and all, they wear ash that we call holy ash. So something about this.
In Kashmir and among us Kashmiri Pandits, we are not having any school, rather any ashrama. This is sannyas. Sannyas, we never believe in this kind of theory. We pursue our spiritual path through only one ashrama, that's called as Grahastha ashrama. So this may be practiced in among us Naga sadhus, but it's not of any relevance to we people. So we should we should never attach any kind of importance to this nasty practice.
Great.
Sanjay ji, sorry, Vidya, there is one question from Maya. Do you think that bad experiences in this life are karmic consequences from the previous one?
Oh, very, very.
We should always concentrate on present. Life it's a cycle. It's nothing. Though there are puro karmas, but equally we are having arguments about present karmas. Then if it would have been so, then there would have not been yoga karma sakoshalam. It's a doctrine established in Bhagavad Gita that you should do the right action. And right action is having, if you are trying to get right fruits, you should have right action. The best action, the honest action. So we should not concentrate on it. It may be part of any mythology, puro karma, but Shaiva is just giving us complete and clear direction. Udyamu Bhairava. Do your action to your best. This is Shiv Sutra by Vasugupta. Udyamu Bhairava. Had it not been like that, then he would have never instructed us to do. Udyam means hard work. Udyamu Bhairava. God is hard work. It means clear cut. We will get fruits for our action. So we should not just go by these dogmatic doctrines.
Thank you. Thank you, Sanjay ji.
Shriyanshi Kanungo, next. Yeah, SQ. Ash, unmute SQ.
Yep.
Hello.
Hello, Shriyanshi. Namaskar.
Hi.
So my question is that in present times when people are ignorant of the knowledge of Vedas and Shastras to attain spiritual fulfillment, what is the way forward for a common being to upkeep his or her spiritual development and attain salvation?
The best way is organizing such type of congregations, making more and more people aware of it, getting more and more people around your activism. That's the only way. We should expand our base. We should involve more and more people, because yours is the standard one. Yours is the logical one. Yours is rather the correct one. It's scientific one. Understand yourself and propagate. Involve. Let's be all missionaries as we are. Nobody amongst you or amongst us sitting over here are getting anything, any remuneration for it. It's our missionary work. It's our missionary zeal. We all the people, all the like-minded people all over the globe, they need to get united. They need to be missionaries to spread this right thought. It's not jihad. It is a super scientific thought which we are, and it's our sacred duty. We should expand our base. We should propagate our thought, and it is giving me immense solace that there is a renaissance. There is a renaissance, I should say Hindu renaissance. More and more people are getting attracted towards this right thought. And you will be happy. Globally, there are 50 universities where intensive research is going on Kashmir Shaiva Darshana. So days ahead are bright. Only Puzui Paje. There's a famous saying of Lala, Ashi Erst, Ashi Asav, Ashi Kurdor Patavut, Ravas Sorin, Shivas Soin is Jontumaron, Ravas Sorin Atagat. It will be we people, right? Always right wins, rightness wins, right thought wins.
Perfect. Chanchal, there is a late entrant. Chanchal, you hear us, Chanchal?
I can't see Chanchal connected to an audio, so I don't know. She's connecting it now.
To Vinod Dhar.
Vinod?
Hello, Vinod ji, namaskar.
Am I being heard?
Vinod, go ahead, yes.
Yeah, Vinod ji, go ahead. Introduce yourself.
नमस्कार महाराज सानी तो दंडवत तो महाराज संजय जी
नमस्कार रोजो God bless you.
बस उस विनोद कुमार महाराज दिल पेट
Good.
मे शो अख सवाल
वही
मैं कुछ वारिया यंगर किड्स शिफ्ट है मीटिंग में बड़ा अच्छा लगता है मे सवाल के how to include younger generation to the path of God. Because with the start of the session, there was a question from Anushka. Why should I believe God? She is my daughter. I have to daily motivate Karun towards the path of God. How should we? What are the simple scriptures, simple किताबें जिससे कि हम younger generations को क्योंकि बहुत सारी चीजें आजकल चल रही है science is there even some other religions are there which are following very simple procedures and when I see my religion it is following very tough procedure. How to include my generation? Shouldn't there be something that we can put them on the path very simply and very logically? Because notions are there, बहुत सारी चीजें ऐसी हैं कि जो हमें समझ ही नहीं आती. Even I am at age of 49, I am not understanding many things. How can a kid of 10 years, 12 years, even 20 years understand this logic? To go for spirituality is rather a very great thing. Just to go towards the path of God. How can we make a new entrant who can be very enthusiastic to enter the path of God? How can we? And what if you can suggest some scriptures, some books which we can show, which we can make them to read?
मैं वो पानी लेवल पे I will just कर आत्मस कोशिश पर का मैं वो पानी लेवल पे सटा वक्त सोचान at क्या इलाज
Sanjay ji, because most of the other speakers are not very comfortable with Kashmiri, so I'll request you to basically put it in English.
There is only one way. If it is definitely a long way, but it is the only way. We have to tread. We have to choose. From last couple of years, I have been just pondering over this issue, and it's a very important issue. So far as Kashmiri Pandits are concerned, Kashmiri Pandit way of life, Kashmiri Pandit style of puja, paditi, and all that. Though ours is very much rich, ritualistically, and otherwise also. But I came to this at my personal level, I came to this conclusion that evolving a simple curriculum is the need of our. So let me be very frank with you. This is the only way. We should evolve at community level. We should evolve a curriculum for not for these young kids, but for everybody. Even the basics of our religion are not known to the elders. I have myself seen a monk who claims to be a big a saint of repute amongst the Kashmiri Pandits. I have myself seen him that he is not practicing the Kashmiri Pandit way of life because he doesn't know. So, say we are supposed to wash our left foot in the morning, then right, then our face. These are steps. I'm just quoting one example. We were together at some place. He washed his right foot. I told him, what has happened to you? There is a mantra for it. We all Hindus are supposed to wash our left foot first. So he apologized. Later on, he told me that I have not read it anywhere. So I came to this conclusion that we will have to evolve a curriculum for it. Simple, understandable, scientific in nature. Let me be frank with you. I am working over it from last 1 year, and I will try to evolve a curriculum, and maybe that may be of some use to our community.
Still, can you suggest some scriptures? I know that you are doing a lot of work. I am aware of that. But still, can you suggest something, some scripture which we can make our children to understand?
First of all, attract them towards Dharma. Without a curriculum, they will never be. Just whatever, we have to just see that element of faith is in them. We are able to infuse the element of faith amongst them. If our children lose element of faith, then we are gone with the wind. But thank God, our children are more religious than we people.
But they are logical. They don't. मतलब वो ऐसे नहीं कि भाई कुछ भी हम कुछ भी बोलेंगे and they will stick to it. They
element of
तर्क चाहिए उनको हर चीज में.
विनोद जी, the moment इस जो बच्चे प्रश्न करते हैं, कभी आप प्रश्नकर्ता को ऐसा don't think, जो प्रश्न करता है don't doubt him. If somebody poses you a question, that doesn't mean that he or she is not having faith. It is simply a element of faith present in her or him, that they are posing you a question. So far they pose you a question, it is good. Once they leave just posing you questions, वो प्रश्न करना छोड़ देंगे, उसका मतलब है they are least concerned about things happening around. So it's good. This is element of faith. हम क्या कर सकते हैं as parents? This is my earnest and this is my handful request to entire Kashmiri Pandit community. Let us strictly and religiously follow our ritual structure. This ritual structure is very, very important. It will keep us alive. And there are deeper spiritual meanings in these rituals. So at parental level, हमको उनको attach your children towards your rituals, towards morning puja, towards evening puja. But so far as this a correct path, you will be able to give them via proper curriculum. And I am trying to evolve that with, if everything goes well, if this corona pandemic would have not been there, I would have by now just printed that. And I will be doing it, God willing, at the most in first quarter of coming year. I'll be releasing it. And I am having plan, I will be releasing it throughout the world. Hard copy, soft copy, net, and I need cooperation from people like you, those who will do that with a missionary zeal, so that we are saved.
Yeah, we are there to cooperate. I am there.
Perfect.
Thank
Okay, so next is Chanchal. Chanchal Dar, Aji, can you unmute Chanchal?
Chanchal, can you unmute yourself? Chanchal, you can unmute.
Okay, we move over to IK Dhar.
Namaskar, Mara.
Namaskar.
I am Inder Dhar from Jammu. My thanks to Sri Sanjay Rana for his inspiring, informative session. I feel myself blessed with his spiritual and intellectual lecture. My hello to all other members too. My first question is how to acquire the preliminary knowledge about the Trika school of Shivaism. I mean to say, is there any school in Jammu where we can get any literature about it? You said about one Rishi, you said about the Varha Pravesha, preliminary how to get this initial preliminary knowledge about the Trika school of Shivaism, thought of Shivaism. Where from can we get this book? Number one. Number two, the second question is about the Jantri, the Tithis, for the extra day like the Nakhetra, or why birthday is celebrated on the next extra day or Nakhetra, while Shraddha is being observed on the first Nakhetra. What is the logic in it? Why we perform the Shraddha on the first day, and why we celebrate the birthday on the next extra Tithi, extra Nakhetra? What is the logic in it? Thank you.
We are having two questions.
Yes, sir.
One question is regarding it is Para Praveshika by Khemendra. Param Shaiva Ashram. We are having 3 branches, one at Srinagar and 2 branches at Jammu. And to your knowledge, at Nasib Nagar Ashram, I was just holding classes for this Para Praveshika. One session for 3 months I have completed last year. Due to this pandemic, I could not just continue that, but hopefully next year I'll be again doing it, and I'll be resuming it. So it's at Nasim Nagar Jammu, a complete Shaiv school, a Sri Ram Shaiva Ashram at Nasim Nagar. Simultaneously, we are having one branch at Gol Gujarat Jammu. Number 2, Praveshka by Khemendra. If you want to read some basic literature about Shaiv Darshan, it is printed. It has been printed by Ram Shaiva Ashram. It has been printed by its in abundant stock. It is available in Ishwar Ashram, Bhagwati Nagar, or rather this Mahendra Nagar. It is, you will just fetch it for 100 or 150 rupees there. So it is cheaply available. Number 2, you have raised this question about Jantri. It's for this qualification, I need 1 hour. Unless and until Tithis Nakshatras, this is a different topic. So once Vidaji is holding a session over Jantri reading, lot many things will be clear to you. But for your information, stick to this principle. Birthdays, once there are 2 Tithis of the same day, say 9, Navami ke do, Dasmi ke do, so you should perform Shraddha on first Tithi, and you should Religiously perform birthday, celebrate birthday on next tithi. But how? It needs 1 hour explanation. Before that, you need to understand lot many things. What does tithi, uh, doubling of tithi mean? What tithi shaya mean? What is the tithi duration? How is tithi being calculated? So it's a big, I should say, it will consume your 1.5 hour. Be part of that meet, and lot many things will be clear to you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
We'll take this last question.
Chanchal,
Ayushman has got one
so
more
there are
question.
two, sorry, Chanchal, can you unmute yourself by any chance?
Nothing, sir.
Yeah.
I am only listener.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Ayushman then.
Thanks. Thanks, sir.
Okay,
Ayushman.
so my last question was also related to Navratri, and it was that, like you said, we should always admire and acknowledge what we do, and we should do it with respect. Whatever we have, we should do it by respect. If people who follow the swastik food diet during Navratri, I've also seen many people just craving, and they're just waiting for Navratri to end and just, eat a bunch of meat. Like, if you're celebrating Navratri, you shouldn't have that thing in back of your mind that I just really want this thing to end, and then I just, just go and eat. Because, like, there's a specific reason why you're doing it. Because, like, the spring is, the season is changing. And, I mean, I'm not saying that everybody eats a lot of meat, but I'm just saying that people who do eat meat, if they can't, resist themselves for 9 days and they're just like waiting for Navratri to end and just eat a bunch of meat, I don't think there's a reason for celebrating Navratri.
What's my question? If somebody likes to eat meat, let them eat for 9 days also. But there is one thing, one silver lining in it. It means the people who are eagerly waiting for ending of Navaratri, that means they are voracious meat eaters. But they tame themselves for 9 days. They control themselves for 9 days. So simultaneously they are religious also. Let us have respect for their religious feeling. If I am a habitual meat eater and then I control myself for 9 days, it is a good thing that it shows me in my immense faith in goddess Durga. Had it not been there, then I would have never observed this. Since I am, despite of my wish, despite of being a voracious meat eater, I am controlling myself. This is the silver lining in it. Isn't it so? But let us pray for them. It's not that meat is the only bad habit. We are nurturing many bad habits. And it's not at all a bad habit. If you like it, do it, eat it. If you like to do something else, do it. But whatever you want to do, whatever you are supposed to do it with proper thinking, with the proper, you should give a thought yet, whether it suits me, whether it is good for me or not.
Okay. So I'm sure that you are satisfied with the answer.
You should love such people because at least they are having faith in it.
Perfect. So this concludes our session today, exploring Sanatana Dharma workshop series with you. And before I basically take leave of everybody, I'd like to thank all the partner organizations: Hindu Forum Canada, Indo-Canadian Kashmir Forum, Kashmiri Overseas Association of Canada, Sharika Foundation, Kashmiri Pandits Australia, Alak Saiba Trust Jammu, and Global Kashmiri Pandit Diaspora. Thank you so much. And Sanjay, thank you so much. It was a wonderful session, and I'm sure that the youth who are present here and many across the globe who are watching us at this time live, and later on they will see our recording as well. I'm sure that you have piqued an interest in many of those young minds, and we will have another session very soon. Thank you so much, and I thank all the youth who basically took time on a lazy Sunday morning, and particularly those people in the different time zones who basically have to get up early in the morning. Thank you so much. And I pray to all, everybody's welfare, and let the noble thoughts come to us from all the sides. Thank you so much.
Let us
Sanjay, you conclude, please.
Let's conclude with a Vedic prayer and a
Yeah.
shloka.
Sanjay, thank you so much for your support as well.
Vidyaji and Ayaji and all my dear kids, those who participated in this meet, I am extremely happy and thankful to you all. God bless you all. Let us conclude this today's magnificent meet with two shlokas, one from Vedas and one from Paramarth Sar of Abhinava. Sahano avatu, sahano banaktu, sahaviryam karvavahi, tejasvinavaditamastu, ma vidvishavahi, param parastam gahanadinadim, ekam nevishtam बहुधा गुहासु सर्वालयं सर्वचराचरस्तं तमेव शंभु शरणं प्रपद्ये. Thank you, everybody.
Namaskar. Thank you.